Well, look who is back with us. It is Shane. And Shane, you know what? We decided to try something a little bit different this time around. We're going to do a little Q&A with you about the forecast.
Okay, that's why this seat is so hot right now.
That's right. We got some questions for you.
Okay, fire
a couple,
away.
In fact. Let's start with this one. A lot of people asking me, are we done soon with 100-degree days? Have we kind of reached the end of the 100-degree days?
I think that's a fair question. I feel like everyone's kind of fed up with it at this point. We constantly try and compare this year to 2011 since that currently holds the record for most triple-digit days at 90.
Yep.
Well, today we tallied up 65. But back then, I think September 29th was the last day that they saw triple-digit heat.
Wow, is that right? That late?
That's right. So we still have a ways to go. Now, keep in mind, our typical daytime highs are now on the decline. Last week it was 99, now it's 98. Seasonal outlooks are showing that we could still see, unfortunately, above average temperatures continue for at least the next month or so.
All right, I have a question. You keep talking about La Nina. La Nina versus El Nino. What do each of them mean?
Okay, so this is something that deals with really a wind pattern that happens all the way out towards the Pacific with our trade winds. Now, El Nino and La Nina are opposites, but what I want to kind of focus on this evening is La Nina because that's the current cycle and phase we're in. And let's talk about how that could impact Central Texas as we make our way into the next seasons. How about that? So I've got this graphic for you. Let's talk about what it is. And like I said, that's going to start all the way out in the Pacific. And this shows how everything is interconnected on this planet, okay? So typically trade winds, they're pushing across the Pacific and they move that warm surface water all the way toward Asia. However, sometimes these winds, the trade winds, are stronger than normal and that brings up colder water from the bottom of or closer to the bottom, I should say, of the Pacific and it brings it to the surface. Now this has impacts on our air. In fact, it creates a blocking high pressure system all the way out in the Pacific that then lifts the Pacific jet stream and that pushes some of the cooler and wetter weather to the north. So what does this mean for late fall into winter for us here in Central Texas? Well, historically it means a drier and warmer pattern. So we could see above average temperatures even continue into the winter. And I know no one wants to hear that at this point. So once again, reminding you of the most triple-digit days on record out at Camp Mabry. We were talking about 2011 really takes the cake with 90 days. We're still challenging it here in 2022. Today we acquired our 65th triple-digit day and the current forecast calls for us to move on up the ranks as we go throughout at least the next 7 days. Right now, Doppler radar is pretty quiet. Didn't see a lot of activity on it today except for the coastal plains. Temperatures still sitting at 90 degrees as you make your way to Austin. Eventually, they'll taper off into the mid to upper 70s overnight for the I-35 corridor, maybe a touch cooler for my friends out there in the hill country. Winds from the south about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, your hourly forecast for tomorrow is a toasty one. 104 is where we could peak, making it the hottest day of the week so far and what we're expecting for the extended forecast. Southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. This should be the last toasty day for the week as a cold front could change things up. Your allergy forecast, we're going to keep grass and mold in the high category. Mold really high just due to all that moisture in the air. Now, if you take a look to the panhandle, you see that stalled front. This is actually going to be the cold front that moves towards us over the coming days, fully arriving on Thursday and sparking up those scattered to widespread showers and storms. The front is expected to stall before eventually lifting back up to the north. That means our best chances for rain will be on Thursday and Friday. How much rain could we see? It's not going to be a drought buster, but we'll take every inch we can get. In fact, we're talking a quarter of an inch to maybe an inch and a half for some isolated pockets. Continuing to track the tropics for you, 20% chance of development for an area that could be developing in the Gulf of Mexico. But take a look at this, you guys. Scattered rain chances on Thursday and Friday and possibly temperatures in the 90s for a bit.
I like it.
Looks good to me. Looks good to me. Thank you for the lessons tonight, Professor.
Yeah.
You are welcome. The seat has cooled off.
There you go. There you go. Well,